The first one up is Evil Dead, and we all saw it. So real quick, here's what the story is. Evil Dead's a remake of the classic 1981 film. There's a lot of critics saying it's from 1983. They are wrong. It was originally directed by Sam Raimi and starring B-movie icon Bruce Campbell, who we talked about earlier. This time around...
You mean Aaron's BFF, Bruce Campbell, right?
Exactly. I'm sorry. Starring B-movie icon, my friend Bruce. This time around, those two produce, but newcomer Fede Alvarez, you're welcome, takes over directing duties with a different story. This one's about Mia. Mia's a heroin addict. She's, poor thing. Her brother David and a bunch of their friends decide the best way to clean her up is to drag her ash to their rundown cabin in the woods. Once they get there, they find the Book of the Dead. It's never referred to as the Necronomicon that I caught, hidden in the cellar. Once idiot Eric unwittingly reads from the book, people start getting possessed, evil shit starts happening, and many a limb start falling off. Now, Justin, when it comes to deep storytelling, this well is about an inch thick. What did you think of the new take on the Evil Dead myth? It's not a big twist, but it's a little bit of a twist.
Well, it certainly had more story than the first film had. I mean, in the original Evil Dead, didn't they just go out there to have a good time?
Yeah, pretty much.
And that was the entire reason these people showed up at this cabin. I liked that they gave some reason for why they're there. I liked that there was some reasoning for why people would ignore her erratic behavior after the evil was unleashed. And so there was some plausibility in areas that this film had that the previous film didn't have.
And it gave a plausible reason why they wouldn't buy it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So while there were some other areas of the story where I'm like, if I saw that shit, I am swimming across that river to get the fuck out of Dodge, that these people are more like, well, just wait. No. But all in all, I thought they did a pretty good job by giving this one just enough story to hang these scares on. And the ending of it actually really surprised me where they went with it.
I mean, it's not an original story. You mentioned that already. How'd you say it? Inch deep or whatever. It's campy even by 80s standards, technically. I mean, what Justin said, where they kind of take they take a different turn on it to make it a little bit more interesting, I liked. But at the end of the day, it's
bunch of people getting demonized in the woods.
Yeah, I mean, this movie wasn't made for its good story. This is made for its let's reminisce about
visceral thrills. Is what I would
call it. That's a good way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Do you guys wish they would have done a little bit more of the psychological taunts? That's the only thing I would say, me personally, it was missing in the story was the film. The film definitely relies a lot on 80s gore, practical effects, things like that. Very, very intense thrills. Whereas the original did the same thing, very, very bloody, very etc. But there's a lot of taunting. There's a lot of messing with the characters' heads as part of the story. Do you guys remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I mean, there were some moments where there was some psychological manipulation going on. There's only so many times you can try and scare someone with "I'll swallow your soul" before you can dip down into something that really is going to push their button or anger them. And I liked when they went there. I agree. They could have gone there a little more often. But, shit, you've got only so many minutes and so many scares.
Right.
Did you guys catch the joke with the names?
No, I didn't.
David, Eric, Mia, Olivia, Natalie.
Oh, nice. I did not catch that.
Demon. What?
Oh.
You still didn't catch it even after I said them, huh? And you're the smart one. You're the smart one. All right. What'd you guys think about the acting?
I was actually surprised at how well this movie was acted. I thought it was one of the strong points of the film. A lot of non-familiar actors, nobody that at least I recognized. And I really kind of hope to see these people in more movies later on, especially the girl, Jane Levy, if I pronounced it correctly, that played Mia. She was very believable in how frightened she was and disturbed she felt after seeing what she experienced in the woods. One of the best, quote, "I'm truly scared" performances I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, she did a great job. I thought the guy who played her brother, of all of them, was probably my least favorite.
Agreed.
Thank you. Of them. The guy's really just kind of a douche, the character in general, which didn't help any. But yeah, all in all, they all did really good jobs.
Mm-hmm. Am I the only one that thought that every time I saw Mia, I saw Robin Tunney?
Yep, a little bit.
A little bit. Yeah, I guess I could see that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, to me that's kind of who I saw, especially some of her earlier roles there. Yeah, I really didn't like the guy that played her brother. I don't know if it was so much his acting or if it was the way the character was written, but just dumb. dumb.
He's very, very serious, and it's just very, very serious. I thought Jane Levy or Levy, however you want to say it, she was very good. I like the fact that she had to run through a lot of various characters in the movie, so she impressed the hell out of me. I really like Jessica Lucas, who played Olivia. Mm-hmm. She gets bashed a lot by a lot of the critics I've read. I personally, she was the one character I really cared about.
Was she the one with the medical experience,
yes,
the doctor?
The nurse, yes. I think outside of Mia and, my opinion, Olivia, the rest of them can kind of be like victim 3, victim 4, victim... that's pretty much how you can just label people. But
right.
Now, Brian, Alvarez decided to go the 80s gore route with almost exclusively practical effects. Did that work for you?
Yeah, I think so. It was definitely, I think when you said visceral, that's kind of a good word for it. I thought some of the shots were probably a bit long. Like there's a certain scene with a tongue and a knife that I felt carried on probably a little bit longer, which really intensifies, I guess, the gore of it. But
way to not spoil it.
Well, how they show that in the fucking trailer.
That's in the trailer.
Yeah. So it goes on for a lot longer than in the trailer. So it's, by the time you're like, oh man, that's gross. And you expect the film, the scene to be cut.
I see what you're saying. It held
something else. It's like, it just keeps going, and it just makes that intensity level, it just kind of raises that level a little bit. Overall, I mean, the look and feel of it, I liked. I liked the foggy feeling that you were kind of closed in this small area. There are some natural disasters that kind of prevent them from leaving. Sometimes the CGI stuff is just a little too, kind of takes you out of the moment a little bit. But
I like that they lingered on some of their shots, though, because in most horror films, it seems like filmmakers they think fast cutting is better. Like they just want to show you 5 different shots in a couple of seconds as opposed to one lingering shot, as though those 5 shots make it better, or maybe some kind of a disorientation factor helps. And for me, it never really does. I like a good sustained shot, especially in a film that's showing someone cutting off limbs or cutting into their body. When you cut away, pardon the pun, cut away so quickly, it takes away some of that visceralness, because you assume that the reason they cut away is because, well, I reached the end of that prosthetic or some other kind of physical limitation stopped them from carrying on. But in this one, you don't get that. They linger, and you get to kind of bathe in the blood of that moment much more. And for me, that really worked like gangbusters, because it just ratchets up the tension. Something fierce.
How do you guys think it handles as a remake? A lot of people are saying that, well, it doesn't live up to the original. The original either is laughably bad or is a modern classic. Now, I personally think in 1981, it was fucking horrifying.
Yeah,
now,
where they're getting this joke shit from.
Yeah,
the second one's got some funny. Army of Darkness has got a lot of funny.
Yeah, there's no jokes in the first movie.
No, in the original Evil Dead,
but it doesn't hold up very well. No. And I think that's where a lot of the quote unquote jokes are coming from. It
doesn't hold up.
I think that the original Sam Raimi did some very interesting things with his camera work in the first one.
Absolutely.
That I think that the director, and his name escapes me, remind me?
Fede Alvarez.
He kind of almost paid homage to some of the stuff that he did by doing the same stuff he did, but in a little bit different way. Like some of the cameras.
I don't
in the
think
woods.
he really the only thing I saw that was reminiscent of Raimi shots was the camera in the woods, and that was not really the way Raimi did it at all.
Well, he did. I think Raimi did it more interesting, honestly.
He did,
but I think that Alvarez was just doing it as more of a respect thing. Like I'm not just going to straight up copy.
I think
him.
you have to have that shot in there.
That's what I'm saying. Against the Evil Dead movie, you have to have that. I remember Raimi doing a little more twisting of the camera kind of thing, a little bit more, that I thought was really interesting.
Raimi did a very interesting way of cutting it, so it actually felt like the evil was there. Where the way this is, it kind of just feels like it's roaming aimlessly. Mm-hmm. I think in the original, it really felt like it was creeping up on people, and he cut it I think he cut it very well, especially for 1981.
Mm-hmm. Well, and in the original Evil Dead, the way he used the cameras and the props and the set, you almost felt like the cabin itself was possessed, and that it was, in its own way, an antagonist in the film. Whereas in this one, the cabin isn't what you're scared of; it's the people who are inside of it. But as a remake, I thoroughly enjoyed this. It had some amazing gore, just enough story to hang it all on, some performances that really surprised me, and I'm so glad that the ending was not what I was expecting.
Mm-hmm.
So what's your verdict, Justin?
If we're going 1 out of 10, I'll give it an easy 8. Maybe on a good day I'd go an 8.5. But it was the only thing, and it's not the film's fault, but the only thing that detracted from it is the fact that I had seen a couple of trailers. And in those trailers, so many of the really powerful moments in this movie I already saw. Mm-hmm. So when I saw them in the movie, they didn't have that gut punch feeling of, oh my God, I can't believe they're doing that, because I was kind of waiting for them to do that. It's not the fault of the film, but it's the fault of the film distributors and makers. Mm-hmm. I give it an 8. I thought it was really, really well done. The demons looked fantastic.
And Scotty?
I really appreciated the acting and production of this movie. It's not a movie that's made for me. I don't worship the original like you did because I didn't come into it till I was later in life. And I'm not usually a squeamish person, but there was many scenes in this that were just too much for me. It's nothing that I'm going to watch again, personally.
Oh, the electric knife. Oh, my God.
I give it a 6.50 out of 10.
Oh, my God.
And Brian?
Yeah, I'll never look at a hypodermic needle in the same way ever again.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I think overall I give it a strong 7.5. I don't elevate the original to sanctity levels that maybe some of us do. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed it 30 years ago, and appreciate it. But it just was like, it was scary, and then I kind of moved on. I did enjoy it a lot. Very disturbing. So strong 7.5.
Personally, it didn't betray one of my horror favorites, and Alvarez made it his own. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. I've seen it twice, and I still love it. I give the film a 9 out of 10.